Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Udjat Vanguard leader Outis and the Index Proselyte Faust. This banner is a very good start for the entire season because it really tells us about what is to come in this season. We have the Udjats and we have the Index, right? For those of you who know the lore, this is a very hype stuff, right? The Udjat means that we're going to talk about Dias and all of those other people. Index is going to be about the fingers. This season is all about fingers, which is very awesome, right? So now our thumb characters, our index characters, our middle characters, all of them will get something from this season for sure, alright? We may even get more rings and even more pinkies, or one or two pinkies depending, right? The pinkies are the smallest finger from what I remember, right? So yeah. Okay, let's start off with the Outis. Outis is very powerful. She's a character that can instantly become good. On turn 1 or turn 2, she's already instantly good. Her scaling is very fast. How does she work, right? How she works is that you want to get Udjat Vanguard. And how you get it? You can get it for free. You just activate 3 Gloom Resonance every single turn. In the Sinking team, this is free, right? So you have Udjat Vanguard permanently. This gives you permanent protection, permanent +3 minimum and maximum speed, and all enemies with their attacks, unopposed attack, it will halve the chance of the skill's first coin to flip hits. What? And then Clash Start is the entire attack in the first clash. You will halve the target's chance to flip hits. If it's tails, then you halve the tail chance instead. That is insane of a passive for the first character of this season. That is a crazy power creep. In addition, you also have, free protection. Well, now you get damage for your protection. Holy shit. This is an insane passive already. Permanent uptime on my Strider, permanent uptime on my Snake Arms. Like, think about it that way, right? This is actually insane. It's not like I have to sacrifice one defense turn to go and get my passive. No, I just get my passive by default. That's amazing, right? In addition, she's a bullet character, so ammo is a problem, but don't worry. Look at that. At 2 or fewer ammo, reload 5 times per encounter. 5 times per encounter. And note that this is after attack. So if you shoot and you end up with only 2 bullets left, okay, reload. Amazing. You shoot all your bullets out first and then you check and then you reload. That's amazing, right? So this character, no ammo problem either. Then you have Shoot Fracture, which is a great debuff. It really is. Because you have max 10 stacks, you deal more damage with Sloth and Gloom, and at max stacks you gain 1 Gloom Fresh. They take also a Gloom damage burst of 1, and then you also lose 1 sinking count because of that. Notably, this has no expiry. As long as there is 1 Udjat LCA on the field, this thing cannot expire. It only expires if you hit 10 stacks. Then after that, you reapply it again. But take note, you can shoot 15 times to activate it. Like you can shoot as many times as you want. So multiple actions also make her very powerful. If you solo with her or you give her additional actions, she's ridiculous. She's really quite ridiculous. Right? So very tanky, with aggro on every single skill, with infinite ammo, with more stuff. Unga Bunga inside of her, right? And also a free passive. Like, this character is just absolutely disgusting, right? Skill 1, aggro, coin power, Udjat, clash power, shoot fractures. Take note, when you have Udjat, you also inflict +1 on every single shot, right? So this is 1-2 on a clash win, and then 3-4. Beautiful. Skill 2, again, 2, 3, 4, 5. Apply 5 immediately. Boom. Also get clash power +2. Remember, Udjat Vanguard gives you your increased chance to go and win already. So this shit is just ridiculous, right? What about skill 3, Mumu Cows? Do I need to build up anything in order to go into this skill tree? Hell no. If you just Gloom Resonance, combat start, you get it. As long as you have Udjat Vanguard available, you will have 50% damage immediately. And when you shoot with bullets, which you will start with full ammo, you will do 60% damage on this one and 60% damage on this one, which is crazy. Alright, so you can do an insane amount of damage on turn 1. Very powerful character with infinite ammo. Alright, take note, all your skills besides aggro also give you protection next turn. Every single one of them give protection next turn. It's like, what the hell, man? What is this character, right? Super tanky, super damagey, super good in everything, right? What else does she even have? She has more, by the way. She has more. She has Blue Sand debuff. Apply to enemy, 3 stacks. Decay by 1 per turn. It decays by 1 per turn. On clash loose, the enemy clash loose, they will gain +1 sinking count, allowing you to be sinking count positive or even neutral. This is ridiculously good. Holy shit, right? In addition, this also applies a min and max speed debuff to enemies without SP, and also makes it so that enemies who can panic lose a crazy amount of clash power and speed, making them just a bitch. You can just eat them for free, basically. They can't fight you at all because low sinking means they can't roll hits, right? Low sanity can't roll hits. And then on top of that, you have her passive to make it even harder to go and roll hits on her, and then you have like this shit here to make it even worse for Clash Power. Like, holy shit, this character is crazy broken. Alright, inflict 1 Gloom Resist down on top of that, and if it has less than 0 SP, trigger Gloom Fragility. And you also have double Tremor Burst. Holy shit, what else do you want from this character? She literally does everything. Her defense also lets enemies hit her when she has a million protection, and inflicts 3 sinking against the attacker 3 times per turn. And you get a shield also, so you don't even take any damage. It's certainly a character. She's a very, very powerful addition to the sinking team. She draws aggro, makes space for your other characters, wins every clash, doesn't take a lot of damage because of the half chance, and free protection from every single skill. And then you can immediately just start shooting bullets, and you can shoot 5 times. Like it's crazy. You have 16 ammo, by the way. 16 ammo. You will take like many turns to burn it all. And then you have 5 reloads in the round. Holy shit. This character is a ridiculous unit for the start of the season. Alright, it's a very, very ridiculous unit. I 100% replace my Edgar family butler Outis with this. This character is just a monster. Alright, it's an absolute monster. Okay, moving on. We have the Index Proselyte Faust. This is a good introduction to the Index. This is not a captain, this is not a big position in the Index, right? This is more of a regular character in the Index. So she's just here to teach us the mechanics of the Index. So the Index is all about having a higher power tell you what to do. If you have tried the Jong Office Ishmael, you would have experienced it a little bit already, because she will require you to hunt down for bright. What you need to do is that if the game tells you to go and pull for red or yellow or blue, you must use red, yellow, and blue skill to match it, right? You must always be matching the colors. The same thing for the Index. The Index also wants you to match the colors, right? So what happens is that you get a prescript. This prescript tells you what you need to do for this turn. You will get different prescripts based on your grace of the prescript. How do you get grace of the prescript? You fulfill the prescript. So these are basically helping each other out, right? Grace of prescript is notable for giving you offense level up, right? Then you also have another higher power telling you who to hit. You inflict the prescript's target onto a random enemy. So the game tells you, hey, you should go and punch that guy. And so you must go and punch that guy. Then the paper tells you should use this skill to go and punch that guy. Okay, use that skill and punch that specific guy. If you fulfill all of those conditions, you will be graced by the prescript and you'll feel really good about yourself. Alright, that's how this character works. Okay, so how it works is that in the early game, all you're doing is really just following whatever the game told you to do, literally. Whatever the skill has been marked, the enemy has been marked, the paper told you to do something, follow, just follow only. Once you get 6 plus grace of the prescript, now what happens is that this effect over here will now prioritize landing on skill 3, forcing you to basically try and use skill 3 in order to farm your prescript stacks, right? What happens when you don't follow it and what happens when you do follow it is over here under the will of the prescript. If you follow the prescript's will, you will heal 4 SP and gain +1. If you execute the prescript, and if the main target was the target, you gain 3 instead. That is very good because you want to stack this as fast as possible. If you do not follow it, you gain karmic consequences. You take debuffs. It goes up to 100 stacks and you gain 1 fragility for every 20 stacks. So not obeying the prescript is okay to a certain extent. Just don't do it too much, otherwise you may be in trouble later on when the fragility starts building up and the unopposed attacks start building up in some very, very tough fights, right? So this is a very, very cool way of implementing the Index. You won't have to worry about this too much because the benefits of following is just so good that you would generally just always follow it just for the benefits. The way you can also break the karmic consequence is that if you have 9 grace of the prescript, then what happens is that you will not gain any karmic consequences at all. And if you also attempted to follow the prescript but you fail to execute the move, for example HP threshold, right? The enemy enter into phase 2, so I never get to hit him. Well, never mind, it will not care about karmic consequence at all, right? So basically they've accommodated for quite a lot of stuff and they give you a lot of good rewards for following the prescript here, for SP gains and also gaining this and also for offense level. But there's more benefits. You want 1 sloth, 1 pride, and 1 gloom own. Very easy in the sinking team. You also have this one over here, which is damage multi, and another damage multi at 9 grace of prescripts. You love having damage multi, so following is good. Always obey your higher power, right? On hit with a base skill against a target with the prescript's target, you also gain 1 poise and inflict 1 sinking, but you can repeat it if you have followed the higher power and the higher power has given you his grace, right? So now you can go and trigger this additionally. So gain 3 poise and also inflict 3 sinking potency. That's pretty damn solid. And at 9, you also inflict another +1 and gain another +1. And you are a sinking and poise character. So following whatever the higher power is telling you to do is really the way to play this character, which is really, really cool. A very accurate depiction of how the index actually plays in Library of Ruina, where they have to follow whatever orders they were given from the higher power, right? Your skills are very, very basic, really very basic. As long as you follow your higher power, you are basically doing whatever you are supposed to do. If your skill is marked with the mark of the prescript, you will gain additional power. If you hit people with sinking, you get additional power. If you have poise because of following your higher power, then you have more power. Like literally, as long as you follow whatever the higher power is telling you, you will be playing this character as how she's supposed to be played, right? What about sinking count in general? This is actually -2. There's no +1 sinking count over here. This is -1 and this is +0. Or -0, right? So basically this character is a little bit minus over here already, so that's a bit of a problem, but not too much of a problem, right? The character is mostly fine. It's just this one that's a bit painful. Just avoid using this one, or make sure you have a fat amount of storage because of your Knight of Despair and your Rhyme Shank, as per usual, right? So yeah, this skill tree over here is going to be your big cash out skill. You want to have a lot of sinking on the target. You want to have a lot of grace, because grace gives you more damage multiplier also here and here, so you can get a total of 90% damage multiplier. You notice it's not very big compared to like 120s or 200 something percentage, right? It's because this character is not really supposed to be the big unga bunga character. She's more of a character that enjoys the sinking team. Later on, the leader will come. When the leader comes, maybe something more crazy is going to happen. You know, right now we're on the regular person here. Later on, we get the super awesome person that makes all of the other regular people much, much better. So I think that's what's going to happen later on. So this character here is very solid and definitely an enjoyer of the prescripts, right? So it's a very, very solid character. Defense skill also notably is a 3 coiner that does 30% damage. Skill 1 is actually a 20% damage and it's a 2 coiner, meaning that you can actually use this as a damage dealing move if you want to, and it's also a gloom move, which lets you do your gloom resonance as well, right? So technology skill is also a nice replacement to your skill 1 depending on your needs also, right? So yeah, very, very solid stuff over here. Okay, so this summarizes the character really well. I would absolutely use this character over my current Butler Faust in the sinking team for sure, right? I'll just use the new character instead of this Butler Faust over here, and then this Outis absolutely disappear. So we will lose totally Echoes of the Manor, but in exchange I get Blue Sand, and count was not a major problem beforehand because we had Knight of Despair Rodion. This one character alone with Rhyme Shank Ego is straight up just hard carrying the entire sinking team, because if you corrode it, it's +8 sinking count, absolutely massive amount of sinking count. You have a lot of decent characters here who have some sort of replacement or at least a positive or a ±0 sinking count, so they are able to maintain it. And this character here is notably very, very sinking count positive, so having a few characters just to enjoy the sinking and not really contribute so much back to it is totally fine. Remember, more Udjats are going to come out later. If more Udjats come out, then there's more blue sand sources. More blue sand just means, okay, sinking count is so free. Alright, sinking count is going to be not so much of a problem in this team. You just want people who do crazy Unga damage, and the new Udjat and the new Faust are characters that do a lot better than whatever you got here. So now you have a wide variety of characters that you can use for the sinking team for sure. And then for cashing out for sinking, you can either use this guy over here for sinking Deluge, or you can use this guy over here for Solemn Lament Yisang, which is also a very, very powerful cash out skill for the sinking team. So sinking team just getting massive benefits is really, really enjoyable. Take note, if you just use this Ryoshu for the passive, it will benefit the Udjat as well. So it's really damn powerful. It's really damn powerful. And then you just use the Hefe, Sinclair, and then you deal more damage to targets with lower sanity. It's amazing. It's like an amazing team comp. I can only see it going better because Index is still available, right? In addition, I'm also looking forward to the middle gang. Middle gang, they are in the story for sure. Thumb gang, there's also in the story. Like, there's so many cool stuff that's happening in the story that allow for all these different team comps to become a lot better. So Burn Tremor can get support. Sinking Tremor and Sinking Poise can get support. your middle gang is all the counter attackers. All the counter attackers will get support, right? Lots of very, very cool stuff is going to happen in this season. So I'm very looking forward to the overall improvements to the team comps in the upcoming Limbus season. It's very, very cool. Very, very enjoyable. Right, so that's pretty much it, guys, for this first review of this banner. It's just a very strong banner to start off. I can't wait to see what else is going to come on already. If they make all this like passive stuff become like actually passives, it's going to be really, really good. By passive stuff, I mean like, you know, our Rupture characters, they have the Strider. You have to use your defense, then you have to use your skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, blah, 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 repeat. Well, now with the way they're going, they seem to have put that kind of stuff into the actual passive. So it's super easy to go and hunt down this stuff over here. But yeah, okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Feel free to go and pull for this character if you want, but in general, I recommend never to pull for characters like that. We always save up our lunacy for the upcoming Walpurgis Knights or upcoming major archetype characters, right? Any of these things. So we better save this for Walpurgis or any other future super collabs that they might do in Limbus Company. They already collab with Arc Knights one time. It's not surprising that they might collab with Arc Knights again. Alright, so yeah, just stand by your lunacy for those moments. Right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.